The Wretched of the Earth is a 1961 book by Frantz Fanon, in which Fanon provides a psychiatric and psychologic analysis of the dehumanizing effects of colonization upon the individual and the nation, and discusses the broader social, cultural, and political implications inherent to establishing a social movement for the decolonization of a person and of a people. The French language title derives from the opening lyrics of the Internationale, the 19th-century anthem of the left wing. Summary: Fanon presents thorough critiques of nationalism and of imperialism, a discussion of personal and societal mental health, a discussion of how the use of language is applied to the establishment of imperialist identities, such as colonizer and colonized, in order to teach and psychologically mold the native and the colonist into the respective roles as slave and master, and a discussion of the role of the intellectual in a revolution. Fanon proposes that revolutionaries should seek the help of the lumpen proletariat to provide the force required to effect the expulsion of the colonists. Moreover, in traditional Marxist theory, the lumpen proletariat are considered the lowest, most degraded stratum of the proletariat social class, especially criminals, vagrants, and the unemployed, people who lack the class consciousness to actively participate in the anti-colonial revolution. Yet Fanon applies the term lumpen proletariat to identify the colonial subjects who are not involved in industrial production, especially the peasantry, because, unlike the urban proletariat, the lumpen proletariat have sufficient intellectual independence from the dominant ideology of the colonial ruling class to readily grasp that they can successfully revolt against the colonial status quo, and to decolonize the nation. Reception. In his introduction to the 1961 edition of The Wretched of the Earth, the philosopher Jean-Paul Sartre supported Frantz Fanon's advocacy of justified violence by the colonized people against the foreign colonizer is necessarily for their mental health and political liberation. Sartre later replied that introduction in Colonialism and Neocolonialism, a politico-philosophic critique of France's Algerian colonialism. The political focus derives from the first chapter of the book, concerning violence, wherein Fanon indicts colonialism and its post-colonial legacies, for which violence is a means of catharsis and liberation from being a colonial subject. Nonetheless, in the foreword to the 2004 edition of The Wretched of the Earth, Homi K. Bhabha criticized Sartre's introduction, stating that it limits the reader's approach to the book to focus on its promotion of violent resistance to oppression. Anthony Elliot writes that The Wretched of the Earth is a seminal work. Translations: in English by Richard Philcox, in English by Constance Farrington, in English by Constance Farrington, in Spanish by Julieta Campos, in German by Troy Koenig, in Persian by Ali Shriati, in Turkish by Lutfi Fevzi Topakoglu, in Hebrew by Orit Rosen, in Korean by Kyung-tae Nam, in Japanese by Michihiko Suzuki and Kinuko Urano, in Arabic by Sami Al-Drubi and Jamal Al-Atasi, in Dutch by Han Meyer, in Croatian by Vera Franges, in Albanian by Muhammadan Kulashi, in Sindhi by Abdul Wahid Arasar Mitihana Manhun, in Czech by Vihavranak Sarshi Tetozim, in Portuguese by Antonio Massano Os Condenados da Terra.